Hey, breaking news, Finesse Two Times turned himself in and got locked up for beefing with his son, King. Let me know where y'all from and who you rocking with. If you're new to the channel, make sure you subscribe to the channel, like this video. If you rocking with Young Dolph, put the Dolph emojis down below. So, King, he was not playing around with Finesse Two Times. He went and filed all the paperwork after Finesse Two Times crashed out and said that he was going to do this to him, he was going to do that to him. He recorded off his iPhone all of everything that Finesse Two Times said when he was in the crib, like going off. He was crashing out saying he was going to get people to come and snatch King up and da-da-da, and you going to do this and you going to pay for this and see what happens. So basically Finesse Two Times was doing a whole lot of talking. He was doing a whole lot of self-snitching, and he didn't even know that he was playing with somebody for real. Like, King went right to protective custody and child services and everything, and he basically was like, yeah, you're not gonna come into my room and say this and that. This is my space. So at the end of the day, Finesse Two Times ended up violating his whole probation and everything. He had 40 days left off of a 3-year Fed probation. All he had to do was stay out of trouble, but he ended up beefing with his son, King. He took King in for like 2 years and everything, and we saw them going everywhere all over the country performing and meeting up with the dude that does the dice games and everything like that. So once they was a hustle cartel, and he ended up basically getting into it with Finesse Two Times because of the whole situation with the new baby coming in, and King was feeling some type of way. He wasn't getting the same attention coming in. They were showing love to the new baby and all that, and King crashed out to himself. He was already bad, and he ended up being calm, and he was lit and everything. But then Finesse Two Times said what he said, and he snapped on King and tried to treat King like he wasn't from the streets or something like that. And so at the end of the day, King was his son, and so you can't be beefing. You can't be 40 years old beefing with 11-year-old, 9-year-olds and stuff like that. And so this is the reason why Finesse Two Times, the reality hit him that he wrong for that, because he already like 30 years, 40 years older than the little dude. And you know, he shouldn't have said what he said about getting the people on him and having him put money on his head like that. Like, when Finesse Two Times made them threats to King, this is when everything went overboard, and he escalated it to where it ended up him getting locked up, violating his probation, and now he got to go back to the feds. Finesse Two Times just got out like 3 years ago, almost to this date. It was about to be his anniversary. He had 40 days left. 40 days, that's a month and some change, and he couldn't even get out of trouble with beefing with his own son. And this is a wide opening, like eye-opening situation, because it's been a revolving door incident with him beefing with Hustle Cartel, beefing with all these other people. Sugar said that he cheated and everything like that, and things started to go downhill once he split up with MobTies, and he brought the beef back up with moneybaggyo, and Dolph wasn't there to, you know, put him under his wing and actually, you know, raise him and show him how, you know, how the bosses move and the big dogs do it and everything like that. And so the pressure got to Finesse Two Times. He ended up crashing out, snapping and everything, and now it turned out to this. He said a whole lot of stuff in the heat of the moment that he wished he wouldn't have said, but now it's too late, because he has to deal with the repercussions and the consequences of his actions, of him crashing out on King and trying to put money on his head, saying that he was going to have 2 people come snatch him up and do this and do that. And King went, and Finesse Two Times went on the live. He went on live and said that King told and he snitched, and you know, he's now accusing King of being a snitch. Now, you know, if King really is from the streets, is he only 10 years old? How is they gonna like apply all the rules to him and say that, okay, now he's snitching and they gotta deal with him how Rats is, and basically he's on a full-fledged beef with King, and King is just trying to make sure that he get a decent place and family to stay with, because his own family, he had issues. This is why how Finesse Two Times came into the picture in the first place, to take him under his wing. He put him back into school and everything like that. And so now, since Finesse Two Times crashed out and basically tried to throw King to the sharks and throw him in the water and everything like that, it's all bad, and it's a sad situation because this whole thing could have been avoided if Finesse Two Times would have basically focused in and realized that he couldn't take King to the clubs and all these places and have all these bad influences around him, basically toting poles and everything, being strapped, going around and saying this to people and checking people and making people check in and pressing them and all this kind of stuff. It exposed King to stuff that he was like, you know, he stayed on the path that he was gonna be on if he was in the streets. They showed him the whole advanced stuff of the streets. It wasn't even anything, it wasn't a better situation when it came to that. And so basically this is why Finesse Two Times ended up treating him like one of his homeboys that he put on or something like that, and that he was trying to cut off and got into it with. So King ended up going live and saying that Finesse Two Times, all their jewelry was fake, and that he couldn't come up with 20,000 for this and that they was going broke and the show's money wasn't coming in and all of this stuff was happening. King started exposing what happened because they said that King, the chain that King got, they took it back, and he's like, how you gonna give me a gift, a $20,000 chain, and then steal it back? They stole it back from King, took it from him, or they didn't even take it from him because King wasn't even there. When King went to school, they went in his dresser drawer and took the chain out because they told him not to wear the chain to school because it's gonna make the other kids feel bad that they don't got money like him. So at the end of the day, King put his chain in the dresser drawer, and he's saying in his live that allegedly Finesse Two Times and his partners went in there because their pockets was hurting, so they went to his dresser drawer and took his chain and the TV or whatever like that. And so all of these things, and King was like, man, they going broke, da 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 da. They took the chain back and they hurting and all this stuff. You don't believe everything you be seeing. The MobTies chain is fake, and Finesse said that King snitched and said that he told them that MobTies was gonna come and do something to him and get him and all that and da da blase blase. And this is why the feds came in and told Finesse Two. Don't forget, Finesse Two Times is on Fed probation. So all the stuff that Finesse Two Times said in his live that the feds was watching, and he said about MobTies, and all the stuff that King could have said and the statements that he could have made to his new family that he went to. So whatever they said, now the feds know that, and they could go after Finesse Two Times and use all that stuff against him and open up a RICO, or anything could go down if they really said that MobTies was going to come and get him. Because if you really think about it, that's what Finesse Two Times could still be connected in all this, but everything is alleged because at the end of the day, we don't really know what the black and white paperwork is. Once they release the documents of exactly the statements that King gave and the reason why they made Finesse Two Times violate his probation, he just got a call and warning from his PO, and the PO told him that the situation that he had with King and all the stuff ended up getting finalized, and that it resulted in Finesse Two Times getting hit with charges, and that it violated his Fed time probation. So now he got to go back to the feds. This is the reason why he's turning himself in, because if the feds have to come and get him and go after him, it's going to be more time, and even worse, they're going to come out the helicopters, jump out the sewer on him and everything, like come off the rooftops and kick the window into the penthouse he's going to or whatever it is. So they already watching everything, his baby mama house, they got everything, eyes on him. They know what car he is, who his driver is, and everywhere he's going, what he's booked for. So the feds could pop up on Finesse Two Times at any given moment. This is the reason why he's trying to mediate the situation, go live, tell everybody he's turning himself in so they understand what's happening, because there's going to be two sides to this whole story on what did happen in Finesse Two Times house with King, and how did that situation result in Finesse Two Times getting, basically, he looking at more Fed time now. He's looking at coming back in and doing another 5-piece. So whatever happened, it must have been bad, and King stood on business with what he was going to do, and he said that, yeah, y'all is not going to get away with this, y'all is not going to violate or nothing like that. Whatever y'all talking about, you just self-snitching, because now King just showed them that he's going to end up winning at the end of it. And so now King, and by the time Finesse Two Times get out, King gonna be grown, and he could be this and that, and who knows, he might end up being successful and changing his life after getting up out of that jam, because the whole thing he was in something was gonna happen either way. He was gonna end up getting in trouble with this or an issue with that, and it could have been worse. So let me know what y'all think about the whole entire thing, how you would have handled the situation, and what do you think about Finesse Two Times having to go back in and potentially do 5 years. And do you think he was right or wrong with what he did to King? And do you think King is going to grow up to be successful or something like that? So let me know what y'all think about all that, and I'm going to catch y'all later. Peace.